We're now going to be listening to Mr. Dennis Byers and Mr. Jason Sharp, who is running for District 4 on the Gage County Board of Supervisors. Would like to remind everybody that tonight is being televised live on Channel 9, and this forum is being taped, which will be shown several times between now and Election Day. We ask that the candidates watch the timekeeper and keep track of their time. Each candidate is going to be given a 2-minute opportunity for an introduction and then 1 minute for each question. Questions asked tonight were submitted to the chamber office by the community. If anybody in the office would like to submit a question, write it down on paper and hand it to the assistant, and she'll bring it up front. At the end of the question and answer period, each candidate will be given another 2 minutes for their summation. Before we started, we drew names, and Dennis Byers was chosen to start first. If you give us our introduction, or your introduction, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tiemann. I'd like first to thank the Beatrice Chamber of Commerce for holding these events. I think it's wonderful that we have the opportunity to have candidates exposed to all of our constituents in Beatrice and Gage County. And thank you, Mr. Tiemann, for volunteering to moderate. I think that's very good of you. We need more volunteers. I am Dennis Byers, and I'm a native of Beatrice and Gage County. Born here more years ago than I'd like to admit, but I have been a native of Beatrice and lived here the majority of my life. And I'm very proud of that because of the fact that I love this community, I love the people in it, and one of my very best strengths is being able to communicate and build relationships with people. And I was able to build a long-lasting, over 30-year relationship with my wonderful wife, Janet, who is the office manager at the Board of Public Works in Beatrice and coaches me all the time. And we have two, and she's a Gage County native also, lived all of her life. And I have two sons, Mark, who is married to Nikki, and John, who's married to Chantel. And Mark and Nikki have our two grandchildren, Macy 9 and Spencer 6. And both of our boys are graduates of Beatrice Public Schools, which we're proud of to have that association. And also they are graduates of the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. And now both, I'm proud to say, are successful businessmen taking care of themselves. So thank you again for having us today, and we're awfully glad to be here.
Thank you, Mr. Byers. Mr. Sharp, would you like to give us your introduction?
Yes, I would. My name's Jason Sharp, and I'm running for the Gage County Board of Supervisors because I feel I have the leadership, the innovation, and the integrity to represent the residents of District 4. I am a newer resident to Gage County. However, I've chosen to live here, and I've dedicated my life to public service. For 15 years, I've served in the United States military, working my way up through the ranks with each promotion taking on greater responsibilities. I understand how to make tough decisions. I personally planned and led soldiers in combat and non-combat missions, and I also understand how to manage a budget. In the military, I've managed a budget and found ways to trim costs to send more soldiers through training. I've also served as a certified law enforcement officer for 10 years, with 3.5 of those years right here in Gage County. That means every day I go to work, I see the issues that face our county. I see the unemployment, I see the foreclosed homes, and I see the empty storefronts. I also see the effects of the decisions the county board makes every day. As your county supervisor, I will do more than go to the board meetings and go to the committee meetings. I will reach out to you. I'll share what's going on in county government, and I'll listen to your feedback. I personally believe that open, honest communication is good, public debate is good. I want to hear your thoughts, and I want to share what's going on in government. And as your supervisor, I will work together with the businesses, the residents, and find ways to improve our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sharp. And you're going to field the first question.
All right.
What is your number one priority program or project, and how will you pay for it?
Well, I can give you three main things. The first one is already in the works, and I think that's the economy. I think we need to continue working with the program that the county board put in place with Gage. I think that's a good partnership. But what we need to do is find a way to measure its effectiveness and then share that with the community. The second one, I think, goes hand in hand with the economy, and that's the county infrastructure. We need to continue to improve our roads and our bridges. And I know my opponent went on record in the primary by saying that the county board can hire somebody to give information and that they can manage the roads department. I feel that we need to hire a superintendent to do that, and the county board can oversee that budget. And then the last thing is communication. I think a lot of the things with the county board that we have going on, we just need to share more information with the residents. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sharp. And Mr. Byers, I'm going to give you the same question. What is your number one priority program or project, and how will you pay for it?
Thank you, Mr. Teeman. I agree. I think the infrastructure of Gage County is still our number one priority. It's our number one budget item, and as the people both in and out of the city of Beatrice and the rural areas, they travel on our roads and across our bridges. And I do feel very comfortable with the fact that at this point, without a designated highway superintendent, we have hired a professional who knows roads, who knows bridges, and who is advising us relative to this issue. And we're working to determine what is it we need to do. How much is it going to cost? Where do we go first? Where do we go second? Mr. Bauman accentuated the two roads, Hickory and Linden, that need work because of economic development and other issues, but we're working all over this county to do the best job we can to build that infrastructure.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Byers, and you're going to get the next question. Is there a program, project, service, or department provided by the county that you feel needs significant changes, and why?
No, I really don't. We are working. If there's anything that needs significant change, we're in the process of changing, and that is in the highway department. We had some significant issues that we needed to deal with, and we have committee structure within the county board that gives us various committees that we choose to serve on to deal with these issues. We, as Matt said, as he and I came on the board a little over 3 years ago, we had some issues as far as communication problems between board members and the highway department, and we ran into issues that we were dealing with and started to deal with, and we've come to a point where that still probably needs to be our number one priority. But what we don't want to forget is that there's so much that we do in Gage County besides infrastructure. And let's not forget that. Law enforcement, which is huge. Emergency services, which are also tremendously huge. I have a list of about 20 different things that we fund. I'm chairman of Blue Valley Region 5 Services, of Region 5 Systems, serve on the Hope Crisis Board, serve on the Public Health Solutions Board. As members of the board, we don't just sit there every day. We have given ourselves up to say, hey, we're going to serve you, and we'll serve on these other boards. These are night meetings, day meetings, weekend meetings, and I just don't think we ever quit from day to day and hour to hour.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Byers. And Mr. Sharp, I'm going to give you the same question. Is there a program, project, service, or department provided by the county that you feel needs significant changes, and why?
Yes, and I hope I get the full 2.5 minutes as well. I think with the roads department, again, I think hiring an outside advisor isn't the best thing to do. I think the best option would be to hire a road superintendent, someone who's accountable to the people, somebody who lives and has a vested interest in improving our county. The county board is designed to manage the budget and to oversee the budget, and they also oversee the roads department. But just like when we hired the advisor for the courthouse building, somebody who doesn't have a vested interest in the county, I think they might make some mistakes, and I think the county board should hire a road superintendent. As far as some other things, I think the county board could also look into communicating better with the residents, developing a positive relationship with the news media, possibly looking into night meetings so people can show up and hear the county board meetings in place, and also share their thoughts and opinions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sharp. And you get the next question. In the past, there has been talk about combining the Register of Deeds and the Assessor's Office, eliminate townships, and reducing the number of supervisors to save money and increase efficiencies. Why do you support or not support these ideas?
Well, if we look at how much our county spends on the supervisors as a whole, and we look at the comparable counties that we compare our county budgets with, we are second to only Saunders County in how much money we spend on our supervisors. And Saunders County it's not part of the metro area, but it borders the Omaha metro area, and it also borders Lancaster County. So there are some differences. So Gage County spends, starting January, will be $21,000 a year per supervisor salary. Combine that with the healthcare benefits, you're looking at over $30,000 a year. And that's comparable to an Omaha City Councilman. Omaha City Councilmen make $35,000 a year. Lincoln City Councilmen make $24,000 a year. I think one thing that we can do is to cut the costs is to lower the wages of the supervisors, and also do night meetings, which the City of Beatrice does, City of Lincoln does, City of Omaha does. That way more people can show up and participate.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sharp. And Mr. Byers, I'm going to give you the same question. In the past, there's been talk about combining the Register of Deeds and Assessor's Office, eliminate townships, and reducing the number of supervisors to save money and increase efficiencies. Why do you support or not support these ideas?
I don't ever close my mind to any idea. I don't think that's a good way to serve, and it's not a way that you build relationships with the people that you do serve, the taxpayers of Beatrice and Gage County. We have looked, and we've had one of our former supervisors who has brought us an idea of combining, getting rid of the township form of government, and combining it, taking it for the county board to assume that responsibility. We have never had a total breakdown on costs on what this will either save us or cost us an additional cost and manpower, and always understand the townships have come to us and said, no, our constituents, the people who are on our boards, who we live with, who are our neighbors, tell us that they need to have somebody that they can communicate with on a regular basis. When you get rid of us, you eliminate the possibility of more communication, and so they are basically against that. The Register of Deeds and the Assessor's Office, both offices come to us and say that they really need to be independent, but I'll look at that and see.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Byers. And you get to field the next question. Economic development is always a topic of a debate when it comes to the city and county. In your opinion, what should be the role of the city and county in funding economic development using tax dollars?
I think we've set a very good example, and I think we've been moving forward in a very positive way. The establishment of Engage and both the county and the city giving the financial backing to Engage to become a reality has been a very, very positive thing. I don't think we should forget the fact that we have so many communities outside the city of Beatrice who also are looking at economic development. You look at Adams, you look at Claytonia, you look at Wymore Blue Springs, you look at Odell. They all have economic development opportunities. They're in the county. They aren't the city of Beatrice. And we need to work together to make this more effective. What we have done in setting up Engage, and we have an advisor who comes to us and who is a professional and who gives us a way of judging this in the future of how we're doing this and what we're accomplishing. But we've come together and have representatives on that board, both from the city and the county, in addition to members all over Gage County, to serve in this role. And I think we're very appropriately, both city and county, moving in a very positive direction.
Thank you, Mr. Byers. And Mr. Sharp, I'm going to give you the same question. Economic development is always a topic of debate when it comes to the city and county. In your opinion, what should be the role of the city and county in funding economic development using tax dollars?
I think the current plan in place that we have with Engage is a good start, and working together, having a partnership with the city and the county and drawing more economic development, getting more businesses to our county is very good, and I think that's a good start. I think we also need to look at the outlying areas of the county as well, to seeing where we can get more development in these small rural cities. As I drive through these towns, there's a lot of empty storefronts that need to be filled. There's a lot of opportunity, and so I think that we can use that partnership and our tax money wisely by using this combined effort, and then also as described before, using the city's LB 840 funds to invest in areas just right outside of the city of Beatrice and in the county as well is good. I want to go back to the previous question since I ran out of time with the supervisor and the commission system. I think with that type of system, the voters need to decide on what type of system of government they want. And I think that we need to get that information out there so they can look at the cost benefit of the supervisor and the commission system, so the voters can decide on what type of government they want with the county.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sharp. We have time for one more question, and I'm going to give that to you. The city has had several major community projects in recent history: the library, the high school, the water park, hospital, airport extension, and remodel. Are there any projects that you'd like to participate with the city in?
I think with some of these projects, I think the projects that would be for tourism or economic development that would bring more people here. I think it'd be nice to invest more in our fairgrounds to improve them out there, so we can get more venue out and different opportunities for special events. I think that would be one area to look at.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sharp. And Mr. Byers, I'm going to give you the same question. The city has had several major community improvements in recent history: the library, high school, water park, hospital, and the airport extension remodel. Are there any projects that you'd like to participate in with the city?
I think most of those we have participated with the city and will continue to. And of course, I think that's one of the strong points that I bring as an individual who's lived here my entire life. I've been a volunteer basically for all of those entities. I have supported them with my volunteer time, with my wife and my resources, and it's very, very important to me. I'm a door-to-door supervisor also, and I talk to people. I'm there. And I know the people of my district and the people of Gage County because I've lived here my entire life. I am not a new resident. And I think it's very, very important we understand the Ag Society, the county already is giving them roughly $128,000 a year for the fairgrounds. And we work very hard with them right now to be a cooperative agency. And we do it with the city, whether it be in the ambulance and the rescue units, so many of the things we work on. The Beatrice Hospital Authority, we give dollars to them, and we continue to do that.
Okay, thank you. That was our last question. And Mr. Byers, I think it's your turn to give your summation.
Thank you, Mr. Tiemann, and again, thank you for the chamber, and thank you to Mr. Sharp for having this opportunity, and all of you who are here this evening. I think that my experience and the amount of time that I've spent as a volunteer and as a participant in helping this city and this county grow has given me the leadership abilities that I can bring to the county board and that I have brought to the county board. I have extensive experience in making public policy and in leadership positions, and I continue to share those from Region 5 Systems Board Chair, Region 5 Services Board Chair, Public Health Solutions Vice Chair, Hope Crisis Center Vice Chairman. I'm not just here. I serve this community, and I will continue to serve it as I have my entire life. And I'm well respected in the state and across this country to teach public policy, to teach relationship building with public entities, and I do this across the United States and Europe as well. I want to thank you all for letting me serve, and I hope you will see fit to return me for 4 more years as a Gage County Supervisor.
Thank you, Mr. Byers. Mr. Sharp, let's have your summation.
Again, I thank the Chamber for hosting this event. I think it's a great opportunity. I thank everybody who's out in the audience and those watching on TV and those who will be watching on the internet and TV in the future, and to listen to our ideas and the other candidates' ideas. The thing, like I said, I am a new resident, but that doesn't mean I don't care any less about this community than anybody else here. I care to improve the community, and I would really like to have the opportunity to serve and improve and work together with everybody here. So, thank you.
All right, thank you. On behalf of the Beatrice Area Chamber of Commerce, I'd like to thank Mr. Byers and Mr. Sharp for coming out. I want to keep reminding you that Election Day is the 6th of November, so don't forget that. We're going to take a break for a couple of minutes, and we're going to come back and hear from John Kanabe and John Hill, who are running for District 6.